I'm sure we're going to have a good time today. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Paul Fo podcast, everybody. Good morning. I'm streaming on 3 places at the same time, on YouTube, on my podcast, and on Instagram, depending on the place where you're watching this from. I hope this is going to be useful to you today, because today I want to talk to you about some certain sales statistics that you should be mindful of. Yes, welcome to the Paul Fo podcast. Today I will be talking to you about certain sales statistics that I believe and I think that you should be mindful of if you want to make sales. All right, my name is Paul Fo. I am an international sales coach, Forbes Coaches Council member, TEDx speaker. King Bath, how are you doing? All right, so everybody follow King_Bath, BARTH. That is my follow for today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe your turn. So follow King Bath, everyone. So let the class start. I want to talk to you about certain sales statistics that I think you should pay attention to. Let's the class start. Number one is 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls. This is according to Invest. 80% of sales, for you to close a sale, they say it requires 5 follow-up calls. So if you get a client and you follow them up once, you're not going to hit that sale. You need at least 5 follow-up calls before you can close that sale. So the question I want to ask you is, are you getting those 5 follow-up calls before you can hit those sales? If you call a client once, I can tell you for free, you are not going to get that client. That's for real. The second sales statistic that you should pay attention to is that 48% of sales people never even make a simple follow-up call. A second follow-up call. This is so interesting. 48% of salespeople, they never make a second follow-up call. I mean, that is serious. That is serious. Wow, King Bat says that I made some sales calls yesterday as you instructed us on the WhatsApp group. I closed 5 sales. I told you, bro. Please send me that testimonial very, very well. I beg you. That's amazing. Well done. All right. That instruction I gave in our WhatsApp group, King Bat, is so amazing that somebody called me, made a sale of 60 million naira. Yes, she has not made a sale before. Oh my goodness. So interesting. The next one is they say that the worst time to call a customer is on Monday mornings. It's on Monday and the second half of Friday. She said that's the worst time to call a client. This is according to Cali Hoop. The next one is the best time to call a client is within the hour of when they made the inquiry or when they called you. This is so true. So something happened to me a few weeks ago. I was in London. I was at a conference and somebody gave me his complimentary card. The moment this guy gave me his complimentary card, I sent him a message on the train home. I sent him a message, thank you very much for giving me your complimentary card. And then I started following up on this guy. We're doing sales training for his company in October. They've already paid. If I did not follow them up immediately, there is no way I would have closed that sale. So did you see that? It's important that you follow up on clients immediately. They say that you have a higher chance, you have a higher percentage of closing a sale if you follow up immediately. Zion Realtor, have you got a question to ask? Because it seemed like you're making a request to want to come online. So have you got a question to ask? They say that you have a higher chance of closing a sale immediately if you get a complimentary card, if you get an inquiry. Don't wait for 24 hours before you call the client. Don't wait 2 days later before you call the client. All my YouTubers, by the way, smash the subscribe button on YouTube as you're watching this. I hope you're enjoying this. Tap the subscribe button right now. Share this video. If you're listening to this on the podcast, share this video, share this podcast. Write a review for me. I'm waiting to get the first review, guys. Can you go to Apple Podcast and write a review for me? Please, Zion, I want you to go to Apple Podcast and write a review for me. Sorry, team, write a review. I want to see my first podcast review. Next, say that 56% of salespeople, they use social media to get new leads. Did you say that? Wow. 56%. Zion, do you have a question to ask? You must have a high chance of closing. First, please go to Apple and write a review for the Powerful Podcast. I want to see that today. See that now. So I can do that for me and come back. Write a review for me. Thank you very much. 6% of salespeople use social media to get new leads. Where is your Apple Podcast link? That's a good question. Just go to Apple Podcast and type the words the Powerful Podcast. The Powerful Podcast, and just write a review for me, please. I really want that review right now. Thank you very much. 68% of sales professionals say that they use LinkedIn and they use LinkedIn and they use LinkedIn and Instagram to get new leads. They use LinkedIn and Instagram to get new leads. Thank you very much, sir. That's the link, guys. Yeah, use LinkedIn and Instagram to get a new lead. So those are the statistics of sales that I want to share with you today. If you take advantage, my favorite right now in all of them is that you have a higher chance of closing a sale where you respond to a client within the hour when they give you that complimentary card or when they make an inquiry. The last statistic I will share is that a lot of salespeople don't ask, but guess what? Customers are willing to give you a referral. But a lot of salespeople don't ask for the referral. They don't ask. I always ask, what's the worst thing that will happen to you when you ask for a sale? They will tell you no. If they tell you no, you look for the next person to ask. If they tell you no, it's fine with that. You look for the next person to ask. And now I want to ask you guys for something. I want you guys to subscribe to my newsletter, my paid newsletter. I'm telling you, what I'm teaching right now, I go in depth in the newsletter. It is $10 a month to register for my newsletter and $80 a year to sign up for the newsletter. Who wants to sign up for the newsletter right now? Say, if you sign up for my newsletter right now, if you do the 1 year plan of $80, all right, I will coach you on the phone on Zoom for free today. For like 10 minutes and you have the recording. Who wants to sign up for the newsletter right now? Say I. So click on the link on my Instagram bio right now to sign up for my newsletter. The full letter, the paid version of the newsletter is $10 a month or $80 for the whole year. The value you will get is much more than that. So click on the link on my Instagram bio right now to do that. Or if you're listening to this on podcast, it is in the show notes or on Insta or on YouTube. It is underneath this video. All right. So who wants to sign up now for the newsletter? Say I. Who would like to sign up for the newsletter right now? Say I.